Hello and welcome to Have a Chat. My name is Judy Loge and I'm your host today for this wonderful show we're about to bring you with my guest, co-host Michelle Tobin-Forgrave.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Veronique is on business today, so like Michelle and I, we've been doing this before together as she has with Veronique, so we're in for a really good time. Thanks for tuning in. So Michelle, I've asked you, as always we do, a quote. So what did you bring?
So, today's quote: happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude.
That's one of my favorite to date. Of all the shows we've done, that resonates with me, touches me.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful in the way that it's exactly what you said. You could travel from here to Dubai, and it could be your dream location for a trip, but unless you're happy within your life, what fun are you going to have if you're lonely, or you're going through a mental issue, or your physical health isn't good, or your relationship at home that you've left is not good? You're traveling, but you have to be happy before you go to find happiness there.
Exactly.
Right?
And two, whether or not we could travel to Dubai, or whether or not we're sick, or whether or not we have lots of, disposable income, we have to be really grateful for the things that we do have. There are people way less fortunate than a lot of us.
So much so.
But to look at, if you have a roof over your head and you have some friends and family,
You're rich.
and just recently speaking to one of my really good friends, and she lost a lot of weight, but now she has lots of extra skin.
Okay.
And she's devastated by that. Devastated. And I said, you know what? No matter what you looked like before and what you look like now, you're the most amazing person.
Yeah.
And be so proud of yourself for what you've accomplished.
Yes.
It's
not just about the skin and the weight.
It's not.
So much more than that. It's what's within.
Yeah.
Again.
And my wish is that everyone had that, that self-love and that
Inner peace.
And that gratitude for what we are offered in the world.
And the older I get, the more I receive that, I find. As you know, I've had a lot of losses in my life lately, like one too many, I would say, in the last week. And this coming week, I'll have attended 5 to 6 wakes and funerals, or both, for people that I've loved.
Yeah.
And it's really, really difficult. But the older I get, the more I used to cry a lot more and be a lot more sad. And as you age and face your own mortality now, I go there and I find some peace in celebrating all that person was, because we're all going to go. It's inevitable. And so what they brought to the journey is part of my journey as well.
Exactly.
So I celebrate with them and I look back on all the memories, and it's so much easier than to go and think of all the sadness that is left. But joy, I guess, is what they bring, and that's the way I'm looking at things now.
And that's a really good way to look at things, because, I mean, yes, obviously there's that sadness there and that grief.
Yes.
But when you can look at that person and say, this is the impact that person had on my life, and I'm going to celebrate that.
Yes, that's how I'm feeling now.
Yeah.
And speaking of loss, Tina Turner was my idol, and at 83, she said goodbye to the world, and so many people were impacted by her. She was the rock and roll queen.
Well, when you think about, 30 years ago, or 40 years ago, however, like I started listening to her in the 80s.
Yes.
I was a little bit too young in the 70s, but what an impact she had on people,
Beautiful soul too, not just a voice that was incredible, but she touched so many hearts. And the first person, it's funny because she had her own family and husband, but the first person I thought of when she passed away was Oprah Winfrey, because she idolized Tina Turner, and she was one that followed her around from place to place, loving her music, and then she became a groupie. And Oprah, who is beyond amazing,
amazing, worldwide
known female, who's done so much and went through a lot of obstacles in her life, as did Tina Turner with her severely abusive marriage.
Lots of trauma.
Trauma and sadness and hardship. They're both resilient women. And she said she finally got to meet her, and actually, Oprah's other half, Stedman, had a surprise 50th birthday party for Oprah. And do you remember the video where they brought Tina Turner in? she came down the stairs and sang to Oprah, "You're simply the best."
Can you imagine?
I feel like that lifts me up so much when I watch that video.
Yep.
You know, and it's funny because when Tina Turner met her new husband, Erwin Bach, he was 30 and she was 47. And she was doing a concert, and he went to pick her up at the airport. And she said, which Veronique and I have talked about love at first sight. We were kind of like, attraction, yes, but love, I don't think so. She said it was love at first sight. And that they've been married ever since.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love Tina Turner, and I'm going to miss the fact that she's not in this world any longer.
Yeah.
But what she did for me was incredible.
That's wonderful.
You're incredible too, Michelle, because recently you did something very big on a TV network that was viewed nationally.
Yes.
And I want our audience to hear all about it because you're very special and you've had your very difficult journey and you're stronger for it and made me stronger because you've just embraced it with your good days and your bad days. You still rise above. Tell us about that honor you had to speak to your health issue.
So as many of you know, I have a traumatic brain injury and post-concussion syndrome, which is basically concussion symptoms that have never went away, and I'm 5.5 years out. So one day I was on Facebook on one of my traumatic brain injury support groups, and a woman had just said, you know, I'd like someone out there, you know, to share their story. I want to hear someone else's story. Anyone willing to share? And because I love to talk, and
I don't,
and I have a big mouth, so I wrote her and I said, yes, I'll share my story with you. Nice. Then about maybe a week later, she called me on the. She texted me, and then called me on the phone. And come to find out, she is a national health reporter for one of the national television networks. So we did a phone call, which was about an hour long, which I really didn't understand at the time that it was an interview.
Okay.
And so it was great. She was wonderful. And then she had texted probably about an hour later and said, the network wants to do a televised piece on this as well. So there was a televised piece. I was included in it. It was funny because the videographer was at the house for about 3 hours, and there's about 3 minutes of footage.
Okay, but still, it was powerful what you did in that amount of time.
And you know, and what it was is the medical community, the medical profession, and what is lacking with brain injury awareness.
Well, tell us more about that.
A lot of doctors, a lot of professionals are not up to date with diagnosing concussion and treating concussion. If you look on the Health Canada website, it mentions most concussions go away within 14 days. Some other websites you'll look at, and it'll say, like the Mayo Clinic, you know, I think it says, you know, they'll be gone in 3 to 4 weeks.
You wish?
I wish. That doesn't happen for everybody. There's a large population of people who suffer with post-concussion syndrome. Last month, I had the amazing opportunity to attend, I guess it wasn't last month, we're still in May. It was the second week of May. I went to a brain injury retreat in the States, and it was put on through the Love Your Brain Foundation, which is an American foundation, but Canadians can be a part of it. So I went for a week-long retreat, free, and there were some other Canadians there and people from all over the States, and it was a 5-day retreat where, you know, there was a lot of mindfulness activities and yoga and some artwork, but a lot of connection and community and a lot of tears, because for a lot of people this is the first place where we've all went, where you actually belonged to a group of people who understood,
could
what you were
relate to
going
one another.
through.
Exactly. That is so important no matter what the conversation. If it's mental health, I think talking the real talk is what's needed. You don't have to go, maybe some people do, of course, to therapy, but if you had something in common with me if I had a concussion or post-concussion syndrome, you and I could talk about it, relate to
Exactly.
it, bond over
Yep.
it, cry over it, hang on to each other's hand over it, or mental health, or a disease, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was
Powerful week.
It was amazing, and I found out in the fall that I was attending that, and then it just so happened that the national news had come out the Friday I got home. That evening.
I
It was
saw
on on TV, and then there was an article written as well on their website. But it was a pretty spectacular week
it
for
really,
me.
really was. Did you come home feeling overall like hopeful, more hope, and at the end of the day, or were you sad because all these people are suffering with what you're suffering for, and there's not enough treatment out there?
It was a mixed bag of emotions. You
Yeah.
know, there was a lot of happiness that I had met all of these people. You know, we're not alone. We do belong to this community. Unfortunately, there is not that kind of community in New Brunswick. However, 2 women from Miramichi had messaged me on Facebook Messenger and said, "I saw your
Yes.
news
Clip?
the news clip."
Yeah.
And so I will be getting together with both of those women.
Wonderful.
I've had people from Newfoundland. I had a doctor from BC contact me. People from all over Ontario, Nova Scotia.
You're
So-
bringing awareness. You're advocating. That is
Yes,
so
and-
important.
And you know, I can't work anymore, so
No, I know, Michelle.
my goal in life is to educate people on brain injury.
Are you, when I say to you as my friend, and you know I totally mean it from the heart, when I say reach out to me anytime, are you reluctant to do that, that you're going to bother or burden or make somebody sad? Because I'm, as busy as I am, I want you to know that you're just up the street,
And
I'm
I'm-
just up the street,
Yeah.
from me I should say, and that I'm there.
And I know that you are. The biggest thing when I'm having those bad days is I literally can't get out of bed, and it's kind of like I fall into this depression where I don't have a desire to reach out to anybody.
okay.
It's when I feel really good that I want to reach out to everybody who needs that kind of support, you know. But when I do have those, you've always been there for me during those rough days.
Yeah, well, I want you to know that I am, and I
I know.
continue to be. And speaking of rough days, Celine Dion is back to experiencing more of her health issues with the stiff man syndrome, which is 1 in a million people that
Which
get that
is
horrid
crazy.
diagnosis. And I cannot believe, like I said, she's no more special in the respect that she's no more better human being than anybody else, but she is a world talent, and her voice is her life, right? And it just troubles me. I've seen her, I've said it before, twice in Vegas, and you may be a fan or you may not, but you can't take away the power of her voice.
Oh.
It is incredible.
Yes.
And the fact that she is now canceling all of her tour again, she must feel so defeated and so lost in her purpose, because that was her purpose, was to serve the world as a musician.
Since she was a child.
12.
You know, that's a long time.
Heartbreaking.
And when that is your life and you lose that ability.
And not only that, you're a mother too. So your disease and her disease does not just affect you; it affects everybody around
Everybody,
you. They
yeah.
lose that person with the vibrancy and the rock kind of status that
Yeah.
my mom's my rock, and now I have to be hers.
Yeah.
Just really quickly, fill us in on a local note about the upcoming Rib Fest.
Okay, so very exciting, because this is the first year in a couple of years, since 2019, I guess, that the Rib Fest is back in person.
Yummy.
We're back down to the same location by the Newcastle Public Library. So it is this weekend. Starts Friday morning at 11 until 10 p.m., both Friday and Saturday. On Sunday, it's from 11 to 7. So they're going to have 3 ribbers back, the award-winning ribbers, and the Tater King. Saturday, there's going to be lots of live music from 2 to 7, lots of local musicians.
good.
Dylan Ryan, Sonny Newman, Riley Harris, Crossover, and my favorite artist right now, one of them, Amber Walls.
Oh, I know.
Because I taught her in Black
so
Phil, and
good.
she's such an amazing singer.
Yes, she is.
So hopefully there's good weather for the whole entire weekend. People can bring their family down, have all kinds of fun, and all of the net proceeds go to local Rotary projects.
and it's
So,
put on by the Miramichi Rotary
put
Club.
on by the Miramichi Rotary Club.
And your husband's the president.
Yes, he is.
I love Kevin.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just one of those rocks, isn't he?
Yeah, he is my rock.
He does a
definitely
lot for the
is.
community, but he's solid. You can depend on him
Yeah.
at home, I'm sure, and he's just one of those
Yeah.
really, really good guys.
Yeah, he is.
I think we're in for some good weather. We've been experiencing some beautiful
Oh, my
sunny
gosh.
days.
Yeah, amazing.
And no matter what my agenda is for the day lately, I've been getting up early, having my coffee, a little light breakfast before I go, usually like cereal with berries and stuff like that, or proteins of some kind. And then I go for a 2-kilometer walk.
Look at you.
Yeah, and you know
Good.
what? It is about consistency. It's not about, oh, today I'm doing 2 kilometers, so tomorrow I'm going to do 10. My son is one that goes to the gym a lot and believes in like moderation. So he said, Mom, like even though you might want to do tomorrow 3 to 4, keep building up.
Yeah.
And the sunshine feels so tremendous.
And the fresh air, and you know, we have the woods around our neighborhood, and just to,
We've been waiting so long.
Yeah, and you know, everybody's grass is turning green,
Yeah.
and the buds and the tulips, and
Yes.
you know, it's wonderful.
And you have dogs and I have dogs. So there's
Yes.
nothing more beautiful than seeing them finally be able to roam and sniff and
Yeah.
play and run. And they're so smart, right?
They are
We have
so
this
smart.
toy. It's like we have 2 special toys, and one's almost like, I don't know, it's green, it's a rubber item, and we throw it, and she goes like a gazelle. Like it's unbelievable. So I'm starting to think that even though I walk my dog, she's getting much more exercise by that sprinting,
Oh.
and her heart's
Yes.
accelerating much
Yeah.
more than if I walk around the block with her a couple of
Exactly.
times.
Yeah, because they can just let loose.
And
We're-
she's funny.
You know, we're lucky, and I think you do too. You have a whole. Is your whole backyard fenced in?
No, but we have that little controller
Oh,
now that
okay,
goes around
yes.
her neck.
Yeah.
So they're great. For anyone that doesn't know how to control their dog, you can order them or buy them. I'm not sure where we ordered ours online, but it's just a little gadget that goes around their neck. It's a remote control operated device. And if she starts to haul me and really tug me, or aggressively want to play with another dog, you just press the little button and it gives a vibrating sound that annoys them in their ear, so then they stop.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Yeah.
And I recommend them because dogs can be very, some people think, oh, they're going to attack my dog. They just want to play.
Yes.
But they're rough at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They go right at it,
Oh,
right?
my 2 labs. So we're lucky because our whole backyard is fenced
Oh,
in. We
good.
have 3 dogs. But it's just great. Like Fetch, we have 2 labs. So that's their life. It's fetching and it's swimming. So to see them just like take right off and sprint around the yard after each other, it's
glorious.
yeah, and then the little chihuahua gets in there. And it's
I
glorious.
love dogs. We're both
Yeah.
dog lovers. So I'll believe on that note to go to break. We have a lovely guest coming up, followed by another one. So don't go far, because Michelle and I will be right back for more Have a Chat. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Have a Chat. Once again, I'm your host for today's show, Judy Loge, joined by my co-host that's filling in for today, Michelle Tobin-Forgrave, for the Veronique that is Way on Business and does a great job, and so do you.
Thanks for having me again.
And we are at the beautiful Rogers Studio in Miramichi, New Brunswick, for anyone viewing this today. Welcome to our first guest. I think you've been on at least once before.
Correct,
But
yep.
we've been going on 9 years plus, so it's about time we had you back again.
Thank you. Thank you for not forgetting about me.
We're not forgetting about you. The lovely Lisa Mitchell, owner of Town Hill Jewelry. Proud owner, for sure.
Yes.
To have your own business.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to get into all of that. But first of all, Lisa, we know you, but tell the viewers a little bit about yourself for those who don't.
All right. So my name is Lisa Mitchell. My husband and I own Town Hill Jewelry, downtown Newcastle, next to Sobeys.
Yeah.
And we're a full-service jewelry store. We've been there for 12 years. I know, it just feels like yesterday we opened and I was just networking and meeting you guys and meeting new people. So it certainly has gone by quite quickly and joyously, and that's my happiness. You guys had talked about that earlier. We find the silver linings in everything, even on the
Yes.
down days in business.
Yes.
And I come from a long line of local entrepreneurs, from my grandmother, aunts and uncles, sisters and brothers. That's pretty exciting to be in the same community that my grandmother kind of started it
I
all.
know, and a
Yeah.
fine family and a well-known family on the
Yeah.
river at that. Doing a great job.
Awesome. So tell us about your store and the history. You said you've been there for 12 years.
Right. So we started, it's called Town Hill Jewelry. And the producer, Sean, said, "Oh, why did you call it Town Hill today?" He asked. And I said, well, we started on originally all the little nicknames of the areas in your community. And one of the places was the Town Hill.
Yeah.
And that's where we started, on Newcastle Boulevard. So it was very important for my husband and I to give that community throwback to those names. And
Nice.
yeah, so the Town Hill evokes that, I guess, past community
Yeah.
of that area.
And what made you decide to go into the jewelry business?
Well, I had started with my dad, so he kind of showed me the ropes. I started cleaning showcases and vacuuming and dusting, and he was very, very much about, you're gonna learn the ropes. You're gonna learn it from the ground up.
Good idea.
And then I was allowed to price tag the jewelry, and then I was allowed to clean the jewelry, and then I was allowed to wait on the customers. So it was, So
He was good to do that, Joe. I believe in that, don't you? Working your way up.
Yes.
Earning your way
Yes.
to
Yeah.
it. I believe in that.
Yeah.
I totally do. You brought some beautiful things for us to look at.
I
so
did.
tell us, Lisa, first of all, what is trending right now? Is it basically more gold or silver or other?
So, through the years, it has been much ado about silver, and then we are really seeing a true push and trend towards gold. But the current gold prices will kind of
Yeah.
put the brakes on a little bit. So the trend currently right now, it's May, we're going to June, July, always towards silver. No matter, it's always trending towards silver.
Do you know what I'm
Silver's
glad to
gonna be
hear
your
that
silver
because
color,
you
your summer
are
color.
into this business, and I know you love jewelry too. So would you say, because I'm always wondering, I mostly do wear all silver, and yet people say I can wear gold. Now, I don't think I wear gold as well. Would you say, looking at my complexion and my whole body, that I'm a better person in silver than gold?
Which one makes you feel better?
I feel much better in silver, but I'm always drawn to the gold bangles and the
Do it.
That's
Yeah, but if it's going to draw me out and make me feel like less,
I don't think so.
it's not going to do anything. It's fashion. Jewelry brings you to life, and jewelry is a beautiful accessory.
Absolutely.
So if it's going to just drain me, why would I go for something that's
That's
going to
right.
blend into my skin? So I'm going to stick with silver.
So there's a lot of
And-
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
So there's a lot of women who, through the years, have been gold, 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 because the trends of the 80s and 90s were gold. They have that jewelry, but as they get older and their hair might be a little salt and pepper, and their complexion may change, and then you see a big push and trend towards silver as they get older, because that's where they feel better. It matches a little bit about what's happening here.
Great.
So
And
yeah,
wow,
do what
look
you
she's
feel.
brought.
I'm a gold person.
I know
You
you
are
are.
my gold girl. You're my gold girl.
I've always
Yep.
been. And when we were talking about the earrings earlier, I have gold up here, so can I wear silver earrings here? you
Yes,
know?
it's
So, I know.
we kind of we've kind of lived through the matchy match phase.
Yes.
And it's not like that anymore. It's
No.
not like that. So you
Silver,
can
gold.
wear, I see a lot of ladies will wear gold on this hand because their wedding trousseau is gold, but they really like that white, gold, silver. So they'll do silver tone on this hand and yellow on this hand.
Yeah.
Cool.
So everything goes. You have to feel it. You have to feel confident. I have lots of customers over 30 years that I've been in the jewelry industry that they'll never go away from gold because that's their jam.
Yes.
They're always going to be my
Yeah.
gold girls.
Other golden girls.
fine. Right.
Show us some of this. I'm excited
So,
because first
some
of all,
of the trends-
that caught my eye.
Some of the common trends right now in jewelry, again, the layering look. So I've just brought this little demo of some serpentine chains. They're 3 individual chains. We have a 16, an 18, and a 20. So they pair perfectly, and the spacing is perfect in those. I didn't bring a 16, a 22, and a 24.
No.
So this can be worn easily by anybody. And you can go and buy, now this is 3 separate pieces,
Yes.
of course.
They're beautiful.
But you can buy them together. You can buy pieces that are together. As anybody who's ever dealt with me or shopped with me, I kind of take the mystery out of everything, and I'll tell you the straight goods on everything. When you buy one piece and they're all together, they tend to tangle more. So if you do 3 separate, now maybe tomorrow you're wearing, maybe it's a little hot and it's a little muggy and you don't want anything too tight so now you can just layer 2 and you have a little bit more options.
And I'm a 16-inch
You
person
are a
for
16.
sure. I
You're
like
actually
it
a
at the nape of the neck.
15.
Everything I wear, I want it to sit there.
Judy, we've actually put a 14 on your neck too, and that's almost unheard of. You can wear almost anything.
Giraffe.
You are sensational. So, and it doesn't have to be matchy-matchy, as I have said. So the other trend and the other fashion style that we have are it's a Tiffany station bead chain.
Beautiful.
So if you wanted to, you can mix and match your layers. I don't know what,
Don't you love that?
right?
I love it.
So you can mix and match your layers. Everything doesn't have to match. Sometimes we'll set people up maybe with an initial. That's also on trend right now, to wear your initial. So I brought an M for Michelle.
Would the M for Michelle go on the top one, the loop, or would it have to go on
Now with this setup, I would not tell you to put any pendants because they have their own beauty. The chains are beautiful on their own. But if they were plain, I would definitely say we would center this in the center.
Yeah.
We would put the M in the center. But you'll also often see people doing like maybe a birthstone, maybe an M, maybe something else,
I
an
like the
infinity
initial.
sign.
I always did.
Yeah. So the initials are on trend right now as well.
Good to know.
On the fashion runway, you're seeing a lot of the accessories that are going with the clothing are a lot of geometrical shapes. So instead of just plain hoops or studs, the designers are doing things like
Oh, that's cool.
working with shapes.
Oh, that's neat.
So when you say in jewelry geometrical shapes, I don't know if Sean's getting this or not, but this has its own unique look and its own unique shapes.
Spiral.
Right.
Yeah, I really want those.
I
They're
know.
so
So,
nice, though.
right.
I can mix and match my silver.
Oh, no,
and
And
gold.
these
I'm
are
going to talk about, because we can gold dip these.
Oh.
Right? We can make silver into gold by just
That's
doing
cool.
a gold plating, so you can still stay your gold girl and be true to yourself.
No, I love this design.
And these again with the geometric shapes.
That's
This is
it.
just just a
they're
little
very
abstract
pretty.
thing
a
happening.
little bit more edgy.
They are very Judy, aren't they?
So I
Yes.
do have a question.
Yes.
With all of these beautiful things,
Yes.
do you have any great gift ideas for graduations?
Well, of course. So, other than grad ring, which is the traditional gift, and the trend is moving. I wouldn't say it's all moving away from graduation rings, but not every student wants a graduation ring.
No.
So what we do have, and this is a lot for the male students because boys are hard. My boys are hard to buy for.
Yes, I have two,
So
and I know they are.
They're hard to buy for.
They say, don't buy for me. So
And maybe it's because I'm a girl. I don't know. But so this is a dog tag, a sterling silver dog tag, and we have had engraved. This one happens to have the NSER logo, the school logo on it. And then I have
cool.
this one, which I've set up with a chain.
I like that idea. Do you, Michelle?
Yeah, I do too. I do.
And to me, that does look very much basic. It's not look at me, like
Right.
you know, a guy. My guys anyway are like, no, I don't want too much flash. I
Yeah.
don't want too much of this popping. So that is subtle enough, but it's classy.
It will
Yeah.
stay classic, and in 30 years at the grad reunion,
Yeah.
Very attractive.
definitely. So
And-
this is the Blackville logo that I've had
And
engraved
something
on
that I think about too is you don't see a whole lot of kids or say like people in their over age 25 that still might wear their high school grad ring.
Right.
No,
You know, you don't.
I don't see them.
No. So this you still might wear.
Absolutely. And the
Yeah.
other thing is right now the styles for graduation rings are tremendous. There's so many different styles. Ones that could encourage you to wear them throughout the years and
that's
still keep it as a day-to-day wearing ring. So,
Okay.
especially with the ladies.
Right.
The females have a lot more choice in the rings. And then another trend, of course, for graduation is the
Beautiful.
watches.
I
So
love
again, that's the
watches.
Miramichi Valley logo that we've had embossed onto the watch.
Isn't
That's
that
beautiful.
that's a gorgeous
Yeah.
one?
And
That
what a
is
nice
too.
keepsake, right?
Yes.
Well, yes, they're
Because
great
it's a
ones.
milestone. Your graduation's a milestone. This is a nice.
I always like to look
milestone
at
marker.
watches. Yeah.
Yeah, I love watches.
My son has an X ring, and I find and my husband and my other son, like most of their family, and I find it so heavy looking. Now, you don't want, do you like heavy jewelry? Because this is not, but if sometimes I just have to strip it all off. Now,
Right.
something like that, your watch, you're not as bothered
Yeah,
by it. It's just,
yeah.
it's just settled. But a ring, I find when you're writing and all that, I don't know, there's something with the heaviness of that X ring, and chances I'd be lost without it.
Yeah.
Right, because once you get used to that weight, when Jansen gets used to that weight on
That's
his
right.
hand,
Doesn't even
I
notice
guess
it.
they say, I feel naked without it.
Yeah, he doesn't
Right?
notice it.
He
Those-
knows.
They're great ideas.
They are great
absolutely.
ideas for graduation. And then, of course, one of the big trends right now are the wedding ring selections that are moving towards the alternative metals.
Yes.
So an
Oh, yes.
alternative metal would be stainless steel, titanium, tungsten, cobalt, zirconium. There's so many of them.
Okay.
So I did bring a few with me to show you. So this one is stainless steel, and they're doing so much with them.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Oh,
stainless
that's nice.
steel,
Sharp.
and this is genuine wood inlay
Yeah, it's
into the
very-
center of the ring.
So
Nice.
maybe I'll get Kevin to propose again, and when we get married, I'll get him that. 'cause-
And I'll stand up with you with my other ring on there.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And then
The
we
wood in
have
it.
cobalt. Cobalt's another alternative metal.
Wow.
And
That's nice.
that's with a white carbon fiber inlay. Of course, you can get plain silver cobalt,
Yeah.
but I thought I would bring something a little,
So
little
they're doing
unique.
them matchingly, so you're saying the
No,
bridegroom?
they
do-
can.
They can.
They can,
Of course
but
they
not
could.
necessarily.
No.
And I'm seeing a lot of brides who are a lot more laid back, and they're telling their husbands, you pick what you want, dear, you have to wear it.
Okay.
Which
I love
is,
the look of that.
over 30 years, it's not always been that way.
Right.
No, it hasn't been. Yes, dear. Yeah, sure, dear. I'll wear that, dear.
This is what I have, and you're going to have the matching one. I've seen that a lot. And then, of course, we have titanium, and
That's
they
nice.
are now inserting diamonds. They're setting diamonds into the
Wow.
alternative metals.
That's so cool. I did not know this was a trend
No, it is.
or the new thing.
And you'll see
Yes.
a lot of gentlemen with black rings.
Yes.
The black rings.
Yeah.
So that could be black plated stainless steel. It could be zirconium, which is a big, I
Yeah.
push zirconium every time.
My favorite's the wooden inlay.
Oh,
That's what I find.
that
It's
is
really
beautiful.
masculine and subtle, but it
Yeah.
speaks.
And they're doing so much. I could do just a whole episode just on the alternative metal and all the designs that they're doing. So
Oh, it's so interesting, Lisa.
Yeah.
And in your store, you have other items. Tell us about services in your store and things you carry other than jewelry.
sure. So I do have light leather goods and leather purses designed in Canada. And the one thing I would like to just put out there is it's so important for everybody to have their wallet, an RFID protected wallet, which has been around for a very long time, but there's still a lot of people out there who maybe don't know about that protection for your wallet or don't have it and
So
think that they don't
can you
need it.
tell us
Most
what
don't
that
have it.
is?
So RFID stands for radio frequency identification. So on a chip card, your debit card, your Visa card, your credit cards, there's the chip. And it's constantly, while it's in your pocket, while it's out, it's constantly emitting radio frequency, RF, radio frequency information about you.
Uh-huh.
So that's why when you push your card into the point of sales machine or the debit machine, so
Yes.
to speak, it's uploading that information to make sure that it's you, it's taking the funds out of the proper account. But even when our cards are not in that machine and they're in our pocket, our purse, etc., that information is continually being put out there.
How wild is that? How scary is that?
It is,
that
isn't
Really,
it?
the modern technology is
Yeah.
just, it freaks me out sometimes.
So it's very important for you to have an RFID protected wallet or purse, some of the purses.
That's an
Yes, there you
RFID
go.
credit card shield.
Yes.
So blocking material help prevents electronic pickpocketing and identity theft.
Yeah.
So in your
Wow.
wallets, that is built in, right?
It's built right into
Yeah.
your wallet. You can get purses built in with that protection built right in, that shield.
What a service that is. And I think people should know about it. I'm glad you brought it up.
Well, because the bad guys, as I say when I'm in my store explaining this to people, they have a machine that they keep in their pocket, and they only have to be 12 feet away from you.
Wow.
They don't have to bump into you.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's a lot.
We
Yeah.
only have a couple of minutes left. Any last questions, Michelle?
Yes. So you do a lot of volunteering, and you also you're on the Downtown Newcastle Business Association.
Yep.
So tell us about everything that you do with that.
All right. Well, Volunteerism, I'm going to tell you, is super important. I believe in my soul that we all need to be part of something bigger than ourselves. Rotary and everything. The list, we only have 2 minutes left, so Judy.
1 minute.
Right?
Yeah, you do so much.
So volunteering is important. It's a passion for your community, and a healthy community has a lot of volunteers. So if you want your community to be happy and healthy, then get out and volunteer and have a passion and do good.
Well, thank you for giving back, 'cause I know endless things that you have done, and you too, Michelle. You know, even with your newly, diagnosed in the last 5.5 years, you still get out there and you do things and you promote others. We are going to break. We've had a great chat with Lisa Mitchell. Go into Town Hill Jewelry, folks. We'll be right back. Thank you. If you're just joining us, I'm your host for today's show, Judy Loge, for Have a Chat. We are in the lovely Rogers Studio in Miramichi, New Brunswick, Canada, for anyone that sees us on YouTube, which is highly possible. And I'm very happy to have the lovely friend of mine, Michelle Tobin-Forgrave, join me today.
Thank you, Judy.
You make a great co-host.
Thanks. I love filling in.
Yes, and she's done it several times now. You're just a real pro. And another friend of ours has joined the table, and that is Kim Harris with Kim Harris Photography.
Yeah.
And I've known you for a long time, Kim.
Thank you.
And
yes.
you bring a real vibe to our community, I have to say that. And she's on, I have to brag about myself, I'm on the Wall of Fame at James and Hill, and so are you.
I know.
So it just shows that we've given back, we've given of ourselves.
We've done a little.
We should be proud. It's not bragging, it's pride, right?
That's it.
So-
And you're very talented.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
you are. So tell us a
Thank
bit
you.
more about yourself personally for those who don't know you.
I'm born and raised here in Miramichi. Left for a little bit, but had to come back home. And I love the Miramichi. And I have 2 boys, young men, I guess. My oldest is 20, turning 20 tomorrow.
Oh, happy
so,
birthday.
yeah, he's going to have a birthday. And my other son is 16. He just got his permit. So
Woo.
watch out, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. He's a great little driver. And yeah, so my boys are all grown up. And it was, it's a strange feeling.
It doesn't take long. It's just
No.
bing, bang, boom,
Yeah.
and all of a
No.
sudden they're taller than us, and they're telling us things.
It's wild, and it's just like it's like a whole new thing for my husband and I.
I know, and you're so
It's-
proud of them, and you should be.
It is. It's amazing. But yeah, and we've been married for near 20 years, and
Beautiful.
it's
It's good.
It's good. We're good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, you recently opened a new studio downtown on Water Street. Tell us about that.
I have so much stuff going on. So the last time I was on the show, I was like hot into the school photos,
Yeah.
and we discussed that. Well, things kind of changed and evolved a little bit, and I decided I was going to open up a portrait studio.
I love the idea.
So, but it's a little bit different though. Like right now, I want to have, what I have is what I call a photo booth. So my husband kind of came up with the name, and it just kind of stuck. So people can just come in and get a fun picture. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and then they leave. Like usually you're there for 10, 15 minutes.
Wow.
You're in, you're out, you're done.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and it's just people finding their joy. You know, it doesn't need to be serious. It's just, that's it. Like, come find your joy.
I recently saw a bunch of ladies, was it the 80s?
They did an 80s
that was
theme. There was
hilarious.
12 of them, and I absolutely adore these women.
Aw.
We've done numerous shoots in the past with this big group of women, and when they called and said, we want to do an 80s theme, I had the perfect backdrop.
Gee.
And they had the perfect
And they had the
clothes
perfect outfits. They
and-
pulled out
Yeah.
their old clothes. They got out their crimpers. They had a party. And it was so much fun. We posed. We laughed. We even went out onto Water Street, because that's
Yeah.
what I love about where my studio is.
Yes.
I'm right on Water Street, so I'm surrounded by all these historic buildings. It couldn't be any more perfect for a photographer.
it was
There's little
fantastic.
alleys. There's all kinds of fun stuff down there. But yeah, it's good. I'm really enjoying it.
You're excited about it. Remember growing up, the photo booths at the mall in Zellers?
Yes.
I mean, when I look at those pictures of myself and my
Yes.
best friends, Mary will be back there going, like that, and I'm going like this, and
Right.
they're priceless, frozen moments in time of our
That's
childhood.
exactly
And now
it.
that
Yeah.
now that I'm older, if I got a picture with you, Michelle, and I live to be 80, I can look back and say 20 years ago, look at the time we had laughing and making faces at each other.
Yep.
It makes
Yep.
me good to look at those old pictures.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yes.
with me too, you have the choice of having the digital image or an instant print. I want to bring that instant print back, right? So you have the option of both.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go for, you know, I've done photo shoots where they were an hour, 2 hours long.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
that's just a lot for some people, you know, and now we're just so busy.
Yeah.
So these sessions are shorter, quicker. I have drop-ins through the day. You know, evenings and weekends, I've been trying to figure out my hours. I've just opened in January. So evenings and weekends, I'm doing them by appointment. But if you stop in anytime before 3 o'clock, I mean, you can just come for
Yeah,
a walk in.
that's just
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's so much fun. I have not had this much fun taking photos in like ever.
It makes
Kim,
me
that's
feel good.
wonderful.
Ever. Like
Yeah.
the people that are coming in, and like these are all new people. This is not my old clients.
No.
These are all new people. And this new thing with dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah, you have to tell
You
the
got me
audience
now at the
about
word
that.
dogs.
Oh.
Like yesterday, we had a fundraiser for Brooke and Brooke DeBlacy. Brooke needs an insulin pump, and I have been taking Brooke's photos since she was a small little girl, and she's just a sweetheart. So I knew I had to do something, but I couldn't quite figure out what it was, and I thought, you know what, let's try pets. So I said, let's do dogs, and I had this. It just happened. I had this airplane prop for years, and it was for babies. And I thought, well, let's put dogs in it.
I saw a picture,
Right?
by the way.
So let's put dogs in it. So yeah, the dogs just came and people kept coming, and we
Hilarious.
raised $500 yesterday for
Wow.
For you.
Just yesterday.
Brooke. Just yesterday.
Wow.
And there was a little dog with a pilot costume
Oh,
on.
yes.
Yes.
It was hilarious.
Yeah,
it was so good. You're very,
It's
very good at what you do.
So much fun. But you know, you got to realize too, some of it is AI, some of it is, you know, Photoshop. Yes,
Yeah.
but they're dogs.
Adorable.
Right? I mean, we can Photoshop dogs.
Yes.
You
And
know?
and you didn't Photoshop the dogs. You just Photoshopped like the scarf. Or
Right,
something.
so I'd put a scarf
Yeah.
on so it looked like it was blowing in the wind,
Yeah,
or little goggles and,
sweetest
and a
thing.
hat. And
Yeah.
it was just, when I started to create all these pieces of art, I never left the studio last night till 9 o'clock.
Oh my gosh.
So I went in early to get set up, and we had Jennifer from the Doggy Dessert Co. She came as well, had her treats for the dogs. It was amazing. And I literally, after everybody left, the last client was at 4:30. I never left the studio till 9 because I was so excited to get everybody back their dog pictures
Yeah.
that Kylie even brought me supper.
You're
So-
passionate, and that takes, you know, that in itself is a gift for what you do in your profession.
I think
You
so.
can do it and make money at it and say, well, it's a job, but when you love going to work and you
Yes.
love staying after hours to see what the result's going to be, that's the sign of a true entrepreneur that's found their place.
Well, the thing too is that, you know, like there's days when you just don't want to get out of bed. And since January, my feet are on the floor at 6:30.
So happy.
And like there's days I don't even want to go home because
you
I'm
just-
like
you
I'm
love
just
what
having
you
so
do.
much fun.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, but the thing about you that I know for sure is that you're a lot of fun, but you're also a get it done lady, because I've
Yeah.
had headshots done by you, and you're very suggestive, but you're also, you know, if I want something particularly, like that's my bad side or that's my, you'll work with that instead of
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
no, just stay, you look great. Like, you know,
oh, I'm not just the goof that just come in and
you're not.
da-da-da-da. No,
You help
no, no.
people out to not only make them comfortable, which I am comfortable in my own skin, but when you're getting something done, like I did the Truth, the gala there at the casino in Moncton, where Serena Ryder was the guest star, and I had to walk the runway in a red dress. That was a little bit new for me in front of 1,500 people. But Kim did my shot that I had to put up on the big screen at the Heart Truth Gala in Moncton, and I had a red leather jacket on. That's one of the nicest pictures I've ever
You were
owned.
fabulous. That was an awesome picture. That's still one of my favorites of
Because you made me feel awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You put
and
the
that's
awesomeness
the thing.
into it.
It's not, this is not a job that I don't think anybody can do. It's a lifestyle. You know, you have to
It
be-
takes a certain kind
Yeah.
of personality.
Yeah.
To bring that person out of their shell or into their best.
And photographers are themselves. So like I had this conversation with another business owner, and they said, you know, they're trying to keep their business on a certain Facebook page. And I'm like, okay, but you are your business. So if you're going to separate it, I don't know if that would work. Like, you know, I can't, I have a business page, but I have my personal page. And
Sure.
sometimes it's like, okay, I'm on here. Like, it's
Yeah.
hard to keep track.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just me. And it's, if you need to find me, you can find me anywhere.
Are you still doing that though? If I need a professional, like
Yes,
for a
yeah.
biography.
So this is the thing, like, people coming in, it's just finding their joy. So if you need business photos, if you need product photos, anything
Sexy
like that,
photos.
sexy
You do?
photos,
She does those
I
too?
do all those too.
Oh.
So yeah. So anything, I do that. I am not. At one time, I wanted to specialize, and now I'm thinking no, because
Anything.
if it finds joy within me,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Good.
I don't want to
Kim.
limit myself to one thing.
No.
And something new that you're starting is a kids photo
Oh,
camp.
the kids photo club. Well, it was starting as a camp, and then I got the kids in there, and I'm like, you know what? This is a club. This is a club.
That's awesome.
These kids are in a club.
Kids are so, I love kids.
And we have had so many amazing conversations with these young kids.
Yeah.
They open up. They share with me what they enjoy.
I bet they
and
do.
what they but in an artistic way.
Okay, because kids say it as it is,
They
right?
do, but
Yeah.
we stay on track. You know, like
Good.
we go for photo walks. I show them different spots in the city where they could get different angles. We went on a photo walk from the studio on Water Street up to St. Michael's Church, and there was 9 children walking with me up the street, and we had a blast.
What age group
That's
are you talking
awesome.
about?
They start at age 8 and go to age 15.
Oh, that's a good age.
15.
I like
Yeah,
that.
it's a good group. So I had some 8-year-olds, and I did have the 15-year-olds and everybody in between. And surprisingly, these kids didn't know each other. No one knew each other. They're from all different schools: Sunny Corner, private school, King Street. There was a few from Gretna Green. These kids didn't know each other.
Now they're friends, probably.
And they're all friends.
That's
So we
fantastic.
had our last summer or spring meeting, and the kids were like giving each other their cell phone numbers so they could stay in contact.
I think that's really important as a side to what you're doing is connection.
Oh,
because
my
now
gosh,
you might
yes.
find a kid that's 9 years old that's going to find a role model, and that role model will mentor them, perhaps maybe even silently. They'll always look up to that person that made that impact on them in your group.
It is, and I mean, I know I had that as a kid. I had role models that I admire, and you know, if I could be a role model to a kid, that would be pretty
Yes.
cool, right?
Yeah.
So these kids just were everything, and I don't even think they understand what they did for me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it was fun.
So will you continue this club in the fall?
Well, yes, I'm actually going to continue it. I'm going to do a summer one.
Okay,
So what
nice.
I decided to do is mornings are kind of slow. You know, I'm getting paperwork and stuff done, but I don't know. I could go out for a walk. So I'm going to
Yeah.
pull 2 hours through the week in the summer and see if any kids want to come hang out, and we'll take some pictures. And yeah,
Awesome.
it's fun. Like, you know, and I'm teaching them different things like composition and things like that, but they're not even realizing what they're learning.
No.
Do they need to have like an actual,
Professional
professional camera, or they can just
No.
use their cell phone?
Their cell
or-
phones, honestly, the cell phones are so capable of taking amazing
Yes,
photos
they
now, and a lot of them have the manual settings built right in the camera, so we can dial in any camera.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But I mean, taking a good photo is about composition and lighting. It's not about the camera. It's about the person that's taking
Right.
the photo.
That's right.
And if you have the creativity, you can with anything. I could use an iPod and I could take a. You know what I mean? So it's just teaching these kids to look at things a different way, and it's very calming. Like you see them take breaths
Oh.
and realize that, oh, I did that.
Aw.
You know.
Reward.
Then when you get the shot, we celebrate, and that was the fun part.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
amazing.
There would be high fives, and we celebrated like none other. Because I mean, every kid needs that.
Yeah.
You know.
And like you said, like taking that breath, it's slowing down and smelling the roses. It's looking for those things out in the community or
yeah.
out in nature.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like there was one little thing I said, we're going to do the 10-step challenge. And they thought I was crazy. And I said, okay, we're going to take 10 steps, we're going to stop, and we're going to take a picture of something.
Oh.
And then we take 10 more steps. Then we stop and
my
took a picture of
gosh.
something. So then I'd say something round, and then everybody would just stop and they'd look for something round.
You're a good
I
leader.
I
It's
want
fun.
to join. You
wanna come?
Photo
You wanna
club.
come?
I was
Yes.
thinking about doing a Hot Mamas photo club.
All right, do
gosh.
it.
I thought it would be
That
great.
sounds like fun.
We could hang out in the park with our kids.
Yep.
Or without them.
Or without them.
I want to ask you a really, I think, a question that I want answered. And it might not be anyone's cup of tea, but I see a lot of people that do their selfies or they want to go to you. And if it's a professional photo that's going up on a big screen, like I had mine
Yeah.
done, yeah, I gave you permission to take out the fine lines and to soften me. I am not about filters. I don't know what to say about that. Do you have women that you have to talk to and say, look, you're naturally lovely the way you are.
Constant.
Don't go constant, because I find I don't want pictures that are filtered. I do not want to be in a Photoshop where I look 30 years old when I'm in my 60s. To me,
That's
it's
right.
not. It's not me.
No.
It is definitely not who I am. And
No.
to take out a few creases is fine, or to soften the neckline or whatever, which I could use. But to get a photo that's just like perfected without any blemishes, to me, it's not even Judy.
Well,
I
it's-
don't like it.
But it's art, right? It's
Yeah,
art. So you
but
you gotta look at it a few ways. Like
What?
you
Okay.
can do those beautiful artistic photos, right? Super milky skin. It's a style. You got to remember, it's a style. So the thing is like doing selfies and stuff like that. It's about your angles. It's not about it. Yeah,
I'm terrible at them.
right. But just shoot up high. So don't take a selfie like this. You shoot up high.
Yes.
Yeah.
This-
Always.
It just helps everything.
does.
It just
Oh.
elongates
Because-
everything.
Yes. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, don't do this. Like don't take a selfie like this.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
for,
not-
for
it's not
those
great.
with the double chin.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
up high, nice
high.
angle, head tilt. Don't be straight onto the camera. There's all kinds of little tips. And there's all kinds of people like on YouTube that just do tutorials on how to get better selfies. But one thing that I follow is this amazing woman who does boudoir, and every week she gives a boudoir tip.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
So one of the things that I thought was so cool is you put your phone on a tripod and you put it on video. Okay?
Gosh, something to go
And-
wrong with me.
No, no,
Definitely
listen.
somebody would
You
walk
push it-
in.
you
with-
got- no,
you're
no.
live streaming it.
So you put your camera on video and then you do all your poses or whatnot. Then you go back and you can take the pictures out of the video now. That's the technology that we have. So you don't have to get the shot. You can move around and then you can find the shots in between.
Right.
So that's the cool thing about
That's a lot
about-
easier than-
Yeah, like photography is changing. Things are changing. Like you can take screenshots out of videos. Like so
wild,
it's
isn't it?
it's really it's amazing. And you got to keep up with it too because things are changing. I mean, AI is next level. Like just in the last month how AI has changed. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, you're watching it. You're seeing
It's
it.
well,
Oh,
yeah, and
yeah.
following it and learning new things. Like I'm having so much fun.
Yes, it's constantly
Like,
reviving itself.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of
changing.
people like it's a curse and a blessing all at the same time. I mean, what it's going to do for us is who knows.
Yeah.
But it's fun to play with.
So you're going to do the
That's
Hot Mama session. Michelle and I are going to sign up for that.
Yeah.
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 I picture
Yeah.
women coming in with their motorcycle jackets. And,
you see it?
oh,
Yes.
yes.
That'd be
for
awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mini skirts and the Tina Turner look in honor of her kind of
Totally
thing.
game.
Big hair.
Oh, that's totally.
I
you.
got a big
Yeah.
graffiti backdrop that would just be awesome.
That's awesome.
Do you have to book ahead? Like, so if we wanted to have like Veronique and I, Michelle, and a few girls go
Something
in and do
unique like that, I would say, yeah, let's book because I'd like to block off that time to give you that,
Okay.
that time with me.
call.
Yeah. So.
Okay, well, we're going to look into that, aren't we, Michelle?
I can't wait, girls.
It's been a pleasure having Kim Harris on, of
Thank
course,
you.
Lisa Mitchell earlier, and my lovely co-host, Michelle Tobin-Forgrave, and you for joining us and have a chat. Come back for more next week because we'll be back. Thank you. Have a great week.